Okay, we're going to kick it off. This is our weekly edition of Us Watching Us, where we watch videos of us from back in the day. And these videos from back in the day are during a round the world trip that we took back in 2009, 2010. And we are a little over half a year into the adventure at this point on episode 24 of Us Watching Us. And we are going to be picking up Cambodia, where we left off last week, where we were in a super kind of like depressing set of videos because there was a genocide that we talked a lot about in the videos that we watched from last time. I think all that makes sense. That all adds. Let me have some more of this bourbon.
No. So continue your intro. You can get a reward when you're finished.
So we're going to be picking it up, and we're going to be doing more of some like cultural and like kind of historic looking cool Cambodia stuff that we had filmed, of course, back in 2010. And then we're going to be watching some videos from some time we spent in Bangkok before we then headed to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong will be next week. That's what we'll be picking up. So we'll be doing, this one's got 2 countries in it, but the videos were kind of like short and weirdly lengthed. And then the Hong Kong video was kind of long. So it was kind of weird to like, how do I put these together? So that's why it's spanning across 2 countries. Normally I wouldn't have done that. But there's some interesting stuff that happens in these episodes. I remember some wild things went down. So it'll be fun to rewatch that stuff. And to start everything off, I am going to get a map involved so we can all as a team get an idea of what part of the world we're in.
You sound like a teacher.
Do I?
Yeah.
I'm getting good at this, man. Okay, and now I got it. Now how do I... What button on the projector do I push?
You just let Monica go up there and fix it.
Why is it always Monica?
Because that's what Monica does.
Okay, we've got a map here, and this needs to be herped like this. Map, Google. And well, I think if I click the English one, it doesn't make me... What?
You Googled the map.
I don't. This isn't my normal browser, so like it doesn't like autocomplete things. Okay, so I think this is far enough out. Most people could identify parts of the world. So we have been like all over this area if you've been watching, and now we are going to be starting in Cambodia. And last week we were watching videos from the time we spent in the capital city of Phnom Penh. And we are going to be going up to Siem Reap, I think is how you pronounce this. Mm-hmm. And this town is like the place all tourists in Cambodia go because it has Angkor Wat, which is this like incredible set of temples that are really old. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's like one of the coolest things in the world. Like it's up there with like the pyramids or like Acropolis or like one of those things. Like it's just really, really, really on top of the game. So we will be checking that stuff out. And then, like I said, later in the videos, we'll be crossing the border back over into Thailand and going to Bangkok for a few days before we then depart. And that'll be for the next week. And as usual, we're going to watch videos and then we are going to look at some of the pictures from the time. And that's how it does.
Oh, wow, I don't have my headphone in. That's kind of a shock.
Okay. Just for a question, how long until the Japan part of the Round the World Trip series starts?
Motherfucker is gonna leave. I only care about Japan.
I think that, let's see, so we're gonna have Hong Kong and Macau, then we're gonna have China, Korea, there's probably quite a few Korea videos, and then we'll be in Japan. So I would guesstimate it is I would guesstimate March-ish is what I would guess.
See you in March.
See you in March, Al. Okay. I was watching us, episode 24, Siem Reap, and then there are going to be 2 Angkor Wat videos. Could everybody hear the bang?
Ooh.
What?
It'd be an interesting taste test over there, because that's Japanese whiskey on the.
Is it smart to mix things?
They're both
Bad for
liquors, as opposed to
Is it already
liquor
opened?
or wine. I don't know.
I don't know if it matters. I don't know if we need to open more alcohol.
Well, I just can see it.
Okay, cool. Let's get into the first episode here. How come the intro music here is slower than on the YouTube videos? Because it's paused.
That's a turtle.
Those are turtles ripped open and gutted and ready to be eaten. Delicious.
So that was we were on a bus.
What would you be eating?
We were,
Is it like
the turtle part?
motsunabe?
Yeah, it's probably like motsunabe.
Yeah, there's some sort of shit in motsunabe that looks like turtle.
We were, that wasn't even it wasn't like, it was a bus stop that we saw that at. We were on the bus from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap, and the bus just stopped so everybody could get out and go to the bathroom, and there was just a bucket of turtles being cooked. So, but that's not that far off the mark from, so the reason that some of the things they eat in Cambodia are like, from our perspective, like you're kind of like, whoa, that's pretty weird. I guess it was because during the Khmer Rouge, like food production completely crumbled. So people survived on stuff that you normally wouldn't have eaten, and it made its way into the like normal diet as a result. But Japan was kind of the same way after World War II. Like I have an older friend, and I've talked to her. She was alive during the end of World War II. She was a little girl, and she said that like it became common to just eat bugs and stuff. Like it hadn't been like something that had happened previously. So she's like, this is what we ate. So
Yeah, and that's
even
kind
if
of like
you
can go to that izakaya
Yeah, you
and
can go
you
to
can get the balloons with the
condoms,
the condoms
yeah.
with milk with ice cream in them, but you can also eat bugs if you want to.
Yeah, turtles aren't out of this. But I mean, truck stop turtles.
Truck stop turtles.
You know what I mean? Maybe like in a restaurant cooked right, but I mean, truck stop turtles.
Our first day in Siem Reap, we rented some four-wheelers, and a guide took us out and just took us through like the countryside.
I forgot about this.
We drove through some villages and just drove through fields and enjoyed the general lawlessness that is Cambodia and the ability to just drive really wherever you want and do whatever you want at any point at any time. We ended up getting really, 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 really dirty from all the dust that's in Cambodia. Even a month later.
I think I remember just basically thinking to myself, if he does it, I'm doing it.
Oh yeah,
if he does it, I'm gonna push it.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
That was also the thing in Cambodia. We mentioned this last week, but it's just like there's no rules like at all. It's wild. It's like the Wild West.
We're still digging dust and dirt. This like red dust and dirt out of our sandals. So that's pretty exciting.
It's a good shot.
Halfway through the motorbike ride, we stopped at this place that it's endorsed, I guess, by the company that runs the motorbike rental place, and it's like an orphanage and a school for local kids that live like out in rural Cambodia. And it's really kind of odd. They have these kids come out and like they're learning English, so they're talking to you and they want to show you around, but they really don't feel like they want to be doing it. So you feel a little awkward, and you can't really tell like if they're trying to get money from you or whatever. But I mean, it was already really expensive to rent the motorbikes, and it kind of felt a bit like we were being shaken down.
So we were inside the miniatures museum, and the lady, she's very nice, came up to us. And
What's going to happen, you know?
I remember.
Okay.
she's just like, come with me, waving us over. And then she came in here and told us, like, we just walked into this little cubicle. And
Like through this little wall.
And she told us to look over this wall.
So we step up on this. We step up on this. And then crocodiles.
I've never been this close before.
It's really strange the way she showed it to us too.
Wani.
But my best guess is these are here for food, because I know you can eat crocodile in town. But we're like in the middle of suburbia.
Yeah, we're in a residential area. Like there are children like running on the street 20 feet away. So it's really odd to see a crocodile farm that close.
This is really, this is seriously like, it's like in somebody's backyard, like in,
I think somebody's getting mounted.
there's some crocodile banging happening. It's just like, imagine you're in downtown Fredericksburg and somebody takes you into their backyard and there's crocodiles. It doesn't make sense.
I like that it's the same animal. There's no real direct translation. It's anywhere crocodiles.
A couple of things I found interesting about that. One, I said Fredericksburg because I was still just talking to people who would know what Fredericksburg is. Mm-hmm. Like there was no cognizant thought that anybody outside of the Fredericksburg community that we are friends and family with would ever have seen this. So like that's what we're still doing at that point, which I think is interesting. Also, I think the thing that was so weird about it, and I don't know how we got into this as much, but the person that took us back there was just kind of like, come here, you should see this. Like, you should see, like, they knew how weird it was. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't like be like, give me more money for this or anything. They just wanted us to know that there were crocodiles there.
This was not a part of the attraction. That person was not some sort of like, come and give me money to like save the crocodiles or whatever.
Yeah.
They were just like enthused that someone else was going to laugh about the absurdity of what was happening right there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're always going on about how cheap some things are. The exception to that rule is Western items, and we found this like in a mall, a really, really Western grocery store, probably the most Western grocery store we've been in. And the prices here are in US dollars, so this makes it really easy to understand how expensive some things from the West can be. We found the...
Why would it be in US
cereal,
dollars?
okay.
Because there were that many tourists in that town. This whole town is like tourism. Like,
Ooh, Pops.
So here's a large, I mean, this is a huge box of Frosted Flakes. It says it is 23 ounces, $8.60. I mean, that's just...
Nobody needs that much, Tony.
I'm dying for cereal. Little box.
Did we buy it?
50
No.
ounces, $6.20. I would kill for some Raisin Bran, but I would not pay $6.20. This is retarded.
ooh, shouldn't have said that.
Everything is not
You're not
what
allowed to
it
use that
seems.
word.
It is cheap as
Honeycombs?
cheap as we claim, but
Damn.
local stuff is usually cheap. But cereal's not a local item by any means.
Cool. Can we pause this and just talk
yeah,
about
they're
cereal
probably
for a little while? I just wanted to go through the different kinds, but it's not on the screen anymore. Just want to talk about cereal for a little bit.
You know what? I have zero level desire for cereal.
I have all the desire for
Don't
cereal.
we have some?
Yeah. I've got some Cheerios for you.
I haven't
and
even,
I've
like,
got,
I didn't
I've
even
got
think
some,
about
grams, some sort of grams.
Honey Smacks taste like piss, right?
All right, so we've got Corn Flakes. That's boring. Pops I'm into. Pops is basically the cereal version of those little big puffed up things that we get that don't have milk for fika that you really like. Do you know what those things are called?
Oreos?
No, they're not called Oreos. It's like a big piece of corn, kind of, and then it's got a little bit of sugar on it, and they're usually really big. Muji does them, and you can get Muji ones at Lawson. Wow, drop Muji in there, we're good. Okay, Apple Jacks is fucking trash. That's trash.
Katie's gonna do a tier list here.
And like, cereal in a way is already trash, so it's the trash of the trash, which is not good. Cocoa Krispies, solid. Drink that milk afterwards, gonna have a great day. Frosted Flakes, fine. I would say that's a quintessential. Honeycomb is like Natsukashi. Oh my god, does it still exist?
I don't know if I've ever had honeycomb.
What?
No.
It's kind of trashy, but like it's like Smacks meeting some sort of other cereal, and it doesn't have like a hard outer coating or anything. It's really styrofoamy-ish.
Good sell.
Yeah. All bran. I don't really know what that is.
Because it's healthy. Your family didn't buy the healthy stuff.
Well, my dad got what are those ones where they cram the wheat together?
Frosted mini wheat?
But it wasn't frosted. My dad went
the mini,
raw dog.
Was it the big one? Because you can get some of them. It's like a big like log the size of a poo, and you like break it up.
It wasn't the poo one. It was more like the mid range
Mm-hmm.
of the. He didn't get the minis. No, not Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's some Honey Grams or...
I don't know what you're talking about. Keep moving. We're going to be here all day.
We are going to be here all day. Rice Krispies on their own as a cereal is no. Like, you just buy that to make Rice Krispie treats. What's the one next to that? Can't tell.
All-Bran? No, wait, no. I don't know the next one is. This one looks like maybe the one with the vampire, Dracula or whatever.
Okay, well,
we're hitting the Frosted Flakes in 2 different sizes over here. Raisin Bran? What about Raisin Bran?
Raisin Bran, I'm interested. Dad also liked Raisin Bran.
My
he
dad
either
liked
had
it too.
Raisin Bran. I keep looking down because not Weetabix either. No.
I'm eating pretzels. Authentic German cuisine. All right, let's get out of this cereal.
Okay, they want pure streams of just me talking about shit.
That's fine.
That would be fun. But we have a different
an agenda right
now. Are you sure? Are you sure?
You should do a tier list of countries you've been to.
All right. It's just got to be shit off the top too, because it's not fun when I've sat there and thought it out.
The other problem with cereal is the milk here isn't the same. It's not bad. It's kind of sweet. It tastes a little bit like what vegans drink. What's that stuff called?
Soy milk.
Soy milk. Yeah, it tastes a little bit like soy milk. It's a little bit.
That's all we drink now.
It doesn't fulfill your craving the way that you always hope. So no cereal for me today. We figured out where all these gators are going.
This looks like a sexy district. Wow.
You can buy yourself a real, genuine stuffed alligator. Guarantee real skin.
Were they fighting?
I don't know.
Wow, that was a quickie.
Yeah. That's why we're doing quite a few episodes.
Serial interlude.
So if I put this up here and then I start it, will it actually start it on the right screen? It never does. It always plays it down here. Oh, it did! Yay!
Yeah, you did that last time.
I honked on myself.
If you maybe take all of them, they'd just play in a straight stream.
Yeah, but I'm just not smart.
We made our...
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at you.
So anyway, we were in Siem Reap. So for the purpose of being in that town was to go to Angkor Wat, which is what we're going to be covering in the next couple of videos. I've only had like this much. Like I'm taking little tiny tastes. I'm not like... It's not like I had it in my hat and like the straws or whatever.
You gotta get the ice cube. The ice cube.
I don't have an ice cube. I have a squeaky chicken.
Well, put it in the chicken and then drink it out the beak.
If the chicken was waterproof, it'd be pretty funny to walk around with like a chicken full of bourbon and a straw in his mouth.
You could do it. He's waterproof on the butt. You just can't fill above this level, and then you could put the straw in there. It's pretty good. Well, oh yeah, and you can take this out and fill it up and then put the head back on. Might be dangerous.
And then you'd have a drunk chicken. So anyway, what I remember about this off the top of my head before we get into it is I remember having some really shitty bicycles. I remember it being really hot outside. Nothing worse than shitty bicycles.
Nothing worse than shitty bicycles.
It was
I've
bad.
thought of so many times where it's like, oh yeah, we should just bicycle around, and you get hyped about it because you think about the further distance you can cover, and you know, you're paying some money to make that day a little more exciting, and then it just ends up being
people give me
torturous.
shitty bicycles.
And they're not
It makes these bicycles really absolutely wonderful.
Yes, absolutely wonderful.
All right.
way to the temples of Angkor, and we actually found out that you could get a ticket at after 4:45.
Oh yeah.
Get you into the temple area for the sunset and the sunrise, so you basically get 2 days for one ticket.
Yeah. So you could get tomorrow's ticket and go in for the sunset on the previous day. That was kind of cool. I think it was like $20. which at the time for us that was a
How do you
fortune.
even remember that?
What?
How much it was?
Oh, you know what? Because I saw the ticket when I did the
Oh,
thing.
okay.
We got there, got our ticket late in the day, and we went to Palm Beking, bad pronunciation once again, and we watched the sunset. This is one of the most popular places to watch the sunset at Angkor, so it was amazing. There were tons of people, and we're all clambering up this big hill. It was really cool.
So it's 5 a.m. and we are in Siem Reap, and we are going to go watch the sunrise over Angkor Wat, and that's pretty fun. The 5 a.m. is not fun, but the bread's fun, and the Angkor Wat is fun.
I love breakfast.
It's not bad.
5 a.m.'s alright. That's some shit, I would say.
And it's a sliver of the moon hanging in the sky, and it's like orange, and that is also cool. Everybody's up to date now.
Good.
That's the Angkor National Museum. Riding across.
Could I get this wig bucket?
Actually, we think a cat lives under the deck.
Yeah, Eric has some thoughts. I don't think the cat lives there. I think the cat lives
Where is it
somewhere else.
going?
It's just going.
I don't know, man. It's in the front yard. We have cameras on our house. Like we see this fucking cat rolling around in our yard all
We
the
have
time.
a camera pointed in one direction.
You can't tell the security features of the house. We have many cameras, every
Got
direction.
lots of cameras. We have so many cameras. Don't even try anything, cat.
And it's definitely not a tanuki.
The town of Siem Reap at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning now. There's a lot of locals that are out drinking, and they're riding their motor scooters around. They're riding their motor scooters around drunkenly, like weaving back and forth, and we're riding our bikes in the dark, hoping we don't get hit by a drunken local on a motor scooter. But they party hard here apparently, well into the wee hours Saturday morning. We're right next to the moat that goes around Angkor Wat, and it's really foggy right now from the morning, and it's
That's your handwriting.
Fancy editing.
feels a little spooky too. And we're gonna watch the sun rise. Last night we watched it set from a different temple. Not sure if you can tell, but there's like a billion bugs in the water here in this moat.
I can definitely tell.
What I was thinking about, this moat around this was actually handmade, I suppose.
Big Doug.
People who dug it. I mean, it's a perfect oval or whatever, or a circle around this is a square. It's a perfect square-ish shape around the.
Motherfucker listed all the shapes before he got to the right shape.
Am I the motherfucker?
Yeah, you're the motherfucker. Wow.
It didn't naturally occur, so somebody had to have done some level of digging to make this appear. And they don't even really have backhoes in this country now, so you can be able to shovel. It's craziness.
This Angkor Wat. I don't remember hardly anything about like the purpose or the history or anything of it. So I'm not gonna answer that question and feel like I have
Is
any
it related to
intelligence.
celestial constellation?
It could be.
No
It seems like a kind of.
idea.
It seems right. Yeah, that's a fact.
I'm not into horoscopes and such.
Well, I mean, like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like if you were a Pisces, you'd have to build a temple or whatever. I think that's how it works.
I like just get on a boat or something. I don't know.
Well, that's what a Sagittarius would say.
6:13 now. I guess the sun officially comes up at 6:15, so close enough. But we're sitting here, and I just realized that the ambulance review and proof by assertion and 52 foreign dumpsters are playing a show right now on exactly the other side of the planet. Feels like a long way away.
This is bands that my band had played with, people we're friends with.
The sun is now peeking up over the temple. It's pretty unbelievable. It was kind of a surprise the way it looks.
Walking into Angkor Wat is fascinating. We went through the large outer gate, got to cross the moat, which the moat is just fantastic looking. We walk through the gardens that are outside of the actual temple, and some of them actually look like turquoise and rainbow colored since the grass has grown and there's no water in it. It's really strange looking. Once you get into the building, it's overwhelming in how ancient it feels. It's crazy to think that people have been walking in this area for thousands of years, and you get to walk in it
That girl.
and experience almost the same thing they were experiencing.
So these women are carved into the walls around the temple, like almost all the way around.
Wasn't it like it was like each one of them represented like a real person or some shit like that, or did we make that up?
Oh, I have no idea. Pastor Z will probably tell us.
Probably, if I'm thinking about it.
Lots of them. Each one is different looking.
So it's more each
almost
one
like
is
they've carved
different.
their personalities into their face. They must have been modeled after real people.
Oh yeah, it sounds like something I just made up. It's fact now.
And bodies are different sizes, and faces are different. Eye shapes are different. The look on their face is different. It really this really seems like they were modeled after individual human beings, which is pretty amazing. And you can't see in the camera, but it does go along up here as well, where you see them. I see a girl right there. Here's another lady. She's dressed a little more modestly. Little additional note to the carved ladies. There's 3,000 of these according to our guidebook. In the carved into the walls of the temple.
So this is like, it's a big area. We had bicycles because like there's a lot of different temples and structures scattered around a fairly large area. It's not just like you go to see one temple or whatever. It's like a lot of them, and a lot of them have different vibes. Like some of them are like in the forest being eaten by trees, and some of them were more like this one that seemed like more like maybe a function to the structure or something. I don't know. Like they just anyway, and they're really old. And
I also kind of remember or think to myself now that we looked at what could the expanse of the area and just knew we weren't going to make it to certain places.
Yeah. There's too much to do in a day.
Day ticket.
Yeah, there's too many things to check out.
And I think we even thought like maybe we could go and do this while we have the previous day's ticket, like on the previous day, but it started getting dark and we ended up being there like in the dark on that one day. I remember like playing around in a really grassy area.
I don't remember that.
I've been really excited to come where we are right now. It's called Banyan. And the architect that built
Still
this,
one of my favorites.
through looking at the images of the faces that you're seeing here and here, they discovered, or they plotted, that it's a mixture of the architect's face and the Buddha. And he has taken that and put it 1,000,000 times over. I mean, there's that one.
Had it been destroyed and rebuilt, and that's why it's like this?
Certainly
Or
looks that way.
do you know what I mean? Or is this...
That one. There's one right there. That one. That one. That one. That one. That one. Those are a little harder to see because it's dark. But they're everywhere. Everywhere you turn, you can at least see 3, 4. It's amazing. There's more up there. There's more over there. This has definitely been one of my favorite Watts temples. This is what Bayon looks like from the outside. Intimidating. Probably don't want to go in a place where people are just staring at you as you're coming in.
Can you imagine this area before it was like turned into like a tourist thing? Like before, like 100 years ago or something. Like this is probably all overgrown with jungle and stuff. And like just like going into it would be like Indiana Jones shit. You know what I mean? It would be like unbelievable.
I was thinking a little bit before that, like people didn't live in that structure. It was really made for aesthetics, for worship, for intimidation.
I wonder if you go back far enough and it was like a functional type of area, but still there weren't like living quarters and stuff.
Yeah, I
Maybe
remember
people lived around it.
reading something that and I probably mentioned it in the video, that the use of so many faces was to give those within the walls the impression that they were always watched. Thus, don't fuck up. And it's weird if no one's living there, to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, they're temples, but I don't know what the people who lived in this area were living in, if they were living within the walls of them or if there were settlements around them. I have no idea.
It took us considerable effort to get there on our bikes.
Well, Siem Reap might not have been when the people that were involved in building these lived. Their living area might not even exist anymore.
Yeah. I'm kind of just curious about that now.
Yeah. I remember that coconut.
I remember being disappointed.
That's the whole coconut video?
Yep. I don't buy those coconuts anymore because I always end up feeling like I'm going to be disappointed.
It's gotta have water in it, or sugar.
We took our super crappy bikes barreling through the woods in search of a temple that we really only had a vague idea of its location. And when we came upon it and found it, it was pretty epic looking.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, so there's so many of them that some of them have got like a bazillion tourists and stuff at them, but then some of them are just like hidden in the woods, and you gotta kind of search for them.
Yeah,
It's
and
like playing-
that,
it's
that
like playing
was
Zelda.
really fun getting off the beaten path and going and finding something that there weren't a lot of people at.
This is Freya.
Do you see me?
Oh, yeah, I do. Wow. Still incredible.
Yeah, it's a really cool picture, video.
Kilale. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I gave it a try. It's basically a temple that has huge trees that have grown into it. It's compared to Ta Prohm, which we'll get to later, but I guess this is the beginnings of seeing epic things. Oh, that's Eric.
No worries, Jerry. Jerry. Damn it, I don't remember now. Which one is it?
Jerry,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah, Gary is with an A. Right? Dang it. Wow.
One of these dragonflies does not fit the dragonfly scheme. While we were riding around, we would find these huge areas of just wide open spaces. There'd be water buffalo just trotting around, taking a dip. You'd see kids walking around and people working on their farms and stuff like that. It was odd to see such ancient areas and then see civilization all at the same time. People were living where we were sightseeing.
What are you laughing at?
Just going back on the name, going, is it Gary? And I know I've yelled at this person several times, and now I can't remember.
I don't know why these videos got split into two pieces.
This is a big tourist attraction, so you're going to see a lot of tourists. This temple has been overtaken by nature, so that one temple that we saw before that had the 3 trees, this one has much bigger trees.
Look at how big that tree is.
It's bigger itself. It goes from way over there all the way over here. And I mean, you can see roots almost everywhere.
This is just insane.
Yeah, this temple was really, really cool. Worthwhile of its tourism drive.
The trees are taking over so badly that it's wreaking havoc on the temples itself and destroying them. They're having a debate as to whether they should take over nature or let nature take over the temples, which would destroy the tourist attraction that they have here. And I think that they're making a middle way on that, as you can see with this tree way over here. They're cutting parts of it off And I think just trying to...
Look at that structure that they had built around that tree to climb up it and cut it. And you know that's made of wood.
And you know, what's the safety equipment there? Like, I don't even think they got carabiners there.
subdue the tree from getting so big. I wonder what they're doing at the roots, if they're doing that at the top.
The safety equipment is just send children. They bounce when they fall.
Here's another tree. Well, I'm zoomed in real bad. Here's another tree that is going into a building.
As we're biking along, I saw these kids, like little kids, like 6, 7 years old, and they have these trees. Then this isn't the exact tree, but it's similar. And in the branches of the tree that they were under, these little like yellow fruits, and they turn red, I guess, when they get ripe and they're ready to be eaten. And they had a stick, and they were trying to kind of climb up each other, holding this long stick, trying to knock these little fruits out of the tree. And they weren't doing a real good job. It seemed like they had gotten a bunch of them, and now the rest are out of reach. So I stopped and I helped these kids knock fruit out of this tree. And at first I didn't know that they wanted just the red ones. So I started smacking all the fruit with this big stick, and they're like, no, 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 red, 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 red. All right. So I spent maybe 5 minutes just knocking fruit out of the tree, and I didn't eat one. I don't have any idea what it was, but they were damn happy. They were chasing these things out on the road as they fell out of the tree. So it was pretty fun.
That's why I like you. You're big. And you give people red fruit.
Yeah, for all we know, it was like some sort of Cambodian methamphetamines or something. Maybe these kids were making fentanyl with it. You don't know.
Look, they were happy.
You get a lot of kids begging or trying to sell things, and it's not fun to give to them because you don't want to, like, you know, influence a begging culture. But when somebody's just trying to get some fruit and you're taller than them and you can help, it's a pretty good feeling.
That's a complicated statement that I just made too. Like, when kids are begging, not giving to them, and like, oh man, that's hard. That is a hard situation. But if you give to them, you don't know what's happening to what you give. If they're slaves or something that are being used by gangs, or oh god, it's such a mess.
Dude, the world sucks.
Yeah, the world is hard.
The world is like 98% suck. I don't know.
I don't know if it's that high.
2% in this building's pretty alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I think about other stuff outside, and I'm like, I don't feel good about most of that.
Yeah, it just feels like out of context seeing that comment that I made though. Like, it doesn't feel good to give to starving children.
Well,
like,
begging culture is a different situation.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just like, if you don't understand, like, that, etc. Yeah.
What about us? You're the 2% in the house.
It's about the biking.
I don't want to tell you about the biking. It was miserable.
Why?
Because it went on forever.
What time is it?
4:25.
And what time did we start?
We started at
5 a.m.
been biking for 12 hours. This is shit
in the sun.
in the sun.
How many kilometers do you think we did?
In the last 24 hours,
Yeah.
50 to 60. On those shitty bikes. Oh my god.
Big turd. I'm riding around on a turd, people.
Katie's not in the best of moods.
That was great. Whee!
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay, so that's the end of the Cambodia videos, but we're going to watch the Bangkok videos as well because they aren't super long either. So the thing that I remember specifically about Bangkok, and the thing, like, this would have been the fourth time we went to Bangkok? Could have been the fourth time. So we landed in Bangkok, we went to the north. We hit Bangkok again, then we went to the south, and we went down through Indonesia and stuff, and then we flew back to Bangkok. That was the third time, and then we went to Laos, and then we went down through Cambodia into. This is the fourth time we went to Bangkok. It's a good hub point because
I think when I count how many times we went to Thailand, but if you're counting how many times you went to Bangkok, it is 4. A different number.
Bangkok is a really good hub city for Southeast Asia. Flights are really cheap. They go in and out of that area. It's got connection points to other places.
It's got Bangkok.
And if you remember when we first went to Asia, we stayed in Bangkok for a month. So every time we went back, it kind of felt like, oh, wow, we've been in this. We spent 2 months or 3 months and everything is different every single day. And now we're back in Bangkok where we kind of know where restaurants are that we like and how to use a transportation system and like what parts of the city have different vibes. And we understood the place to a certain degree because we had spent a month exploring it. So every time we went back, it was exciting because we were like, oh, we're going to get to like go home, quote unquote. It's like what it felt like to a certain degree.
It was one of those things where I thought like if you had gone back 10 years and told like 10 years ago, Katie, that Bangkok was going to feel like a comfort city to that person.
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
Holy, they would have been like,
where's Bangkok?
Where's Bangkok?
Yeah,
that might be true. I wonder if I would have even known.
So, I don't know how much we're going to get into explaining this in the video. Sometimes we don't talk about it as much as I remember it, and sometimes the other way around. But basically what's going on is we are going back to Bangkok because we're going to be staying there for a few days and then catching a flight to go out of the Southeast Asia area. We're basically quote unquote finished with Southeast Asia for this trip. So like there was kind of a line in my head where like, okay, this region is finished because we're going north into northern Asia. So we went to Hong Kong, Macau, China, Korea, Japan, that kind of thing. The reason that shift was happening at that time was, one, I feel like we were getting a little bit tired of Southeast Asia. Like there was the countries are different, and of course, like there's a lot. There is variety, but we were there for like 7 months or something, and things were starting to just kind of be like the same thing. We just wanted to shake it up a bit. So that's why we didn't end up going to like Vietnam. That's why we didn't go to the Philippines. It was just like we were ready to jump. And we were also, we had been waiting for the winter to end because we didn't want to go. We didn't have the clothing and stuff to go to a cold climate. So we were waiting for the weather to get to the point where we could just go with the clothes that we had and go north. So that was kind of like, that was the thing.
It wasn't a burnout of traveling too much. It was a burnout of copy paste.
Yeah, kind of this. Yeah, we just wanted something different. Is really what it comes down to.
It's like you've been going to the same Chinese restaurant all week, and then like you can have pizza. Damn, let's go get some pizza. Yeah. So the thing that became interesting about this is Bangkok is, or Thailand is kind of like susceptible to political upheaval. And there are often protests and is it prime ministers, I think, overthrown constantly and like get kicked out. And there's all this like, and at the time I was reading about this, like I was obsessed with Thai politics because there was a lot of crazy shit going on. Like I think it was a prime minister, I can't even remember now, right? The prime minister who was in charge had some sort of dealings with like the armies in Myanmar, and money was happening, and like it was just crazy. And there's a big like political divide inside of Thailand that's like the rural people and then the people who live in the cities and stuff like that. Like it's a common thing, right? But there was just a lot of upheaval going on. I was keeping up on it. I understood it all. And we didn't know this. It was news. As soon as we were crossing the border from Cambodia into Thailand, we were reading like on the internet or something, like or somebody on the bus told me or something, that there's huge protests in Bangkok. And like huge protests. So it was like, okay, now we're on a bus going into a city where like, what's going to happen? We didn't know if the city was going to be functioning, like we didn't know if a war was going to break out. Like it felt like, I just remember this like, okay, this is going to be different this time when we get there. I remember being a little bit worried kind of when we got into the city.
Yeah. I just remember like because of course we didn't have hotels prearranged, I don't think. Like we were just like, we'll just figure it out when we get there. So yeah, there was just, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think it's a Gary. Not Jerry.
Anyways, so that's kind of setting the scene a little bit, and let's watch it. This is 3 videos. I don't know what I was breaking these up for. I don't remember. At one point, you couldn't have longer than a 10-minute video on YouTube. That might have been what it was. Yeah, the red, yellow shirt thing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a disclaimer about the videos here. They're about Bangkok, and it's about the beginning of the protests that were happening in mid-March in 2010. It's now the end of April when we're just now getting around to editing the videos together, so a lot of the content isn't actually accurate anymore or isn't reflecting exactly what's going on. Things have turned violent since we've left. So our perspective on this is, from the beginning of the protest, not now. Just keep that in mind while you watch them.
Where in the world am I sitting?
Some sort of hotel, vague hotel.
That's
like, why?
nice
Why
lighting
would? Why
for
would
that
there
kind of
ever?
hotel we'd stay in?
China?
Okay, so we're at a restaurant
Yeah, that's a pause.
to Bangkok.
That's a strong maybe, because both in Seoul and in China we had nice hotels,
For a
and we at both of them we were like, fuck it, I don't really want to go outside.
Yeah.
I remember in China going to the store and being like, we get milk and some cereal and we're gonna live in the hotel.
There's a lot of reasons for that. We'll get into that later, I'm sure.
And literally, as we had to walk out the door, I hit CNN on the internet, and this.
You look beautiful. Oh my god.
What?
You're like a mountain man. It's disgustingly beautiful.
Stay off my Kool-Aid, girl.
Look at all the tan and the brown and the pretty.
All right, what am I saying here?
Okay, so we're at a rest stop in Cambodia on our way to Bangkok. And literally, as we had to walk out the door, I hit CNN on the internet, and there's this article on the front of American CNN saying that there are massive rallies and a lot of just like tens of thousands of people protesting right now in Bangkok. And it's it literally said that in the CNN article, I mean, maybe it's completely inaccurate, but it said in the CNN article they were attempting to overthrow the government. So we have 2 problems. One, maybe in a city that is, getting overthrown. Luckily, Thais tend to kind of go back and forth with governments frequently, and it's usually not violent. So I'm not worried about a violent level, but it just might be, who knows what kind of problems you can run into with that type of thing. And secondly, if tens of thousands of people are protesting in the city, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to find a place to sleep tonight. So there's a few things to be worried about. We've now left Cambodia, and we are headed towards Thailand, and it's over a river, or
Ooh, Gerber.
a little dumpy stream.
Look at him travel.
Gerber's her backpack.
Okay, this is a brief background on the protests that are taking place in Thailand at the moment. Thailand's a constitutional monarchy that's supposed to be run by an elected prime minister and parliament, working hand in hand with a very, very respected king. It's been in power since 1946. Thailand's really known for a colorful political past. They tend to go back and forth between prime ministers and parliaments more often than one would expect. And the current protests date back to a coup that had taken place in 2006. Essentially, there was a prime minister at the time named Thaksin, and he's a shrewd businessman, to say the least. And he was removed from the country through a military coup for using his political prowess for financial gain for himself. He changed some laws that he probably shouldn't have changed, and did some things that were pretty damn corrupt, actually. And eventually they got sick of it, and this is kind of a rumor, a thought that maybe the king had given a blessing to the military to have this man removed from office. So he was taken out, and there was, right after that, there was a mess of trying to find somebody who wasn't corrupt to put in place as a prime minister and build a parliamentary structure and everything underneath. And eventually they did get somebody laid in, and they were just put there. It wasn't like an elected official or anything. I think he was a military leader or something. And the current protests, the people that were pro-Thaksin, which are essentially the redneck population of Thailand, they're really upset that there's not an elected official. They feel like that the person that's in charge now is there undemocratically, which is, I mean, legitimately kind of a legitimate thing to be complaining about. So they're protesting to have elections held, and the current government is not allowing that. I'm not really...
Lima. This sounds a lot like Lima.
Oh, in Peru? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is just like
the
this is struggling democracy stuff.
The rural population wants
Yeah.
the government to be resorted, and they would be with Thaksin, and yeah, interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could probably take that scenario and apply it to a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Clear why they're so against having these elections. To me, it seems like a pretty logical solution, but maybe there's a piece of the pie that I really don't understand. But the people that are protesting aren't exactly the highest class people. They're kind of considered lower class. Like I said, they're sort of Thailand's rednecks, for lack of a better term. So that's what's going on, and hopefully this will make a little more sense now.
Let me see here. I think generally protesters leave tourists. Yeah, we weren't worried even going in that somebody was going to hurt us or anything. It was more about like I was more worried about like infrastructure disruption. Like, are we going to be like, is the protest going to be like blocking up like the busways? Are we not going to be able to get into the city? Is like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing that I was more concerned about. I wasn't actually super concerned about like violence towards us.
There were moments that I thought. I remember we went into the embassy and we were worried about leaving the embassy.
No, we weren't worried about leaving the embassy. We walked outside and suddenly...
Yes. Like,
yeah,
I definitely felt this could be a moment that could go
I'm
badly.
sure we talk about that in this.
I felt intensity in the crowd. For the most part, I guess I didn't feel threatened by any means.
Like festive.
But I did feel... foreign is the wrong way to say this, but I felt like something that sticks out, and therefore something leverageable.
Oh, like you stuck out and you could be... Oh, okay, yeah.
So I knew my place. I knew what I was in those crowds. But I didn't really fear it, but I was aware that if for some reason someone wanted to do something, I am a peg of some sort that's different than them.
She says, I have to say I like the way you always include context for serious things. Yeah, that's hard. It's hard to speak about things and not like be completely wrong or have like make people think you have a political slant or an agenda or something like that.
Well,
so
if you call them rednecks,
tricky.
it's just
I know,
accurate.
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't know any other way to say it. Probably would choose my words differently now, but
Yeah,
whatever.
you would.
I'm still going to remember if I can recall any of this from my own time, but the great reporting. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
So with all these protests that are going on, we're going to see if we can go up there and find them. We've been kind of on the end of town,
So I guess at this point we've gotten into the town and we've sorted our shit. I think.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Would we go directly to the protest instead of getting a hotel?
It's possible.
It's possible. It's absolutely possible that we'd be like, well, if it's only going to happen today, we better go there. And
Yeah.
like, if we sleep on the street, we sleep on the street.
It's possible. I don't remember. I'm wearing a different shirt.
That means nothing to me.
It means I changed my shirt. Different day, baby.
Maybe.
in the Sukhumvit area of town, and there's no sign of weird traffic or anything at all strange going on. But the internet last night said that they'd be collecting blood from protesters today, and they were going to pour it all in the street. So,
Yeah, the whole blood thing was weird to me.
There to the government house area and see if we can find these folks. So there's not a whole lot going on over here. We're in the area where all the protests have been the last few days, except for the fact that there are like some dudes dressed up in military uniforms wandering around. And they're getting strange looks from all the people in the streets. It kind of looks like they're not happy about it. I don't know exactly what the thought process is, but so far we're still walking towards the ground zero or whatever the newspaper claimed existed. But at this point, I'm starting to think we're not going to see anything at all. Like it's all dissolved by now, which is really strange because the newspaper yesterday said it would still be going on today and that things would be escalating and this and that. So, but the Thai politics and Thai newspapers are kind of difficult to read between the lines sometimes.
So the thing also was that like I had known a lot of the people that were protesting had come in from the like outside of the city. Like I remember that.
Well,
being
they're rednecks, so they'd
thing.
have to.
This is like a line of like public toilets that have been set up. You just go in there and stand next to people and do your business. Doesn't really.
I'm shocked I did not go and investigate that. I want to know what's inside there. Right now, I want to know very badly what's inside there. But I have not done that. That's interesting.
Inside, the stench is really, really horrible. As you can see, there's more people with red shirts. These are the people that are protesting. Anything red shirts, red flags, things like that. They want the prime minister to give up the ghost and quit. And they say they're not leaving until that happens, which is common way for a prime minister to lose his job in Thailand. These are also bathrooms, like as in for places to bathe, literally. People have been in their underwear standing in the street bathing. And it seems like I saw pictures from yesterday. There was a huge commotion yesterday and over the weekend. Seems like it's probably fizzled out a little bit. We did see some riot police, like in full riot gear with like shields, walk by a couple minutes ago. A little further down the road, you can see there's some big speakers set up over here. And there was a big stage set up here where people were, I'm assuming, giving speeches. And then here's some of the riot police. They're wearing pink around their necks. That is the color of the day. Thailand, you see a lot of people wearing certain colors certain days of the week. And what day of the week is it today? It's Tuesday, and Tuesday is Pink Day. So that's
Monday's Red Day, I think.
I don't know, maybe.
Well, yesterday
And then there's one.
just look normal.
And one of the days is Yellow Days. It's the king's birthday. The king is his royal. Yellow is his royal color. But those pink scarves around those riot police is kind of a sign of like unity to the people in Thailand, for a lack of a better term. So they're trying to be peaceful about it. Is what they're trying to show. So this place almost has a festival feeling. So we're gonna get some shaved ice from this vendor. And she's gonna put some flavoring on it or whatever. But
Dude, did you see that apparatus?
It's dope.
She needs the penguin.
Do we still have a penguin?
No, we don't have that penguin because I do not like kakigori.
Kakigori's good, man. Maybe we should get a penguin. I don't want to use that thing. But it was weird.
Kakigori is the Apple Jacks of desserts.
So, this is the point we're starting to be like, because we were curious. We're like, okay, what are we going to see? And then, okay, I guess it's all gone. And then it started to pick up. And okay, we're getting shaved ice. Like, it's just so strange.
Yeah.
The whole thing was very surreal.
it's like you're at a rock concert or something, like you're a Lollapalooza or something. I don't know. Only everybody's wearing red. Very seriously, a lot of people here. It's just spread out a lot, like over a large area. I mean, for a Tuesday, I can't even remember what day it is now. I know I asked a minute ago, but whatever day of the week it is, it's just a lot of people just not at work. We are actually also in Bangkok. There's a lot of foreigners, but we're like the only white people in this part of town right now. We've seen a couple of other white people, but like the percentage compared to the number of Thais here is just way, way off. I mean, we're very much out of place, but nobody really is upset or anything, so that's all right. This old man here that keeps walking back and forth came up and shook my hand for like 5 minutes and blabbled a bunch of Thai, and I obviously don't speak Thai, and he doesn't speak English, and he wanted to talk for quite a while. But I had no idea what he was talking about. But I think we're getting up to where the actual main protest is. And you can see there's a ton of people here. It's madness.
Look how big I am compared to all those people.
I gave birth to a panda.
I think like once every 10 years, I need one of those lollipops. Like I really crave them, and I found out Joelle was buying some of them And I think
put
that
it in
maybe
order?
it's like a white girl thing. I don't know. Did I put in an order? No, I'm just gonna wait until Joelle like offers me one, and then I'd be like, "Oh, this is the one for this decade."
All right, so this is the main protest stage. You can see it's being televised. And there's quite a few people here, but it's not like, I mean, it's not like what the pictures look like from over the weekend, but maybe it was just, you know, angle magic that made it look like there were more people than there were. I mean, there's a lot of people here, but I don't think that they're going to be overthrowing any governments anytime soon. They're probably just making a point. Oh, here, there's the king. He's overseeing proceedings.
All right, so this lady is escorting us, and she's taking us to the boat so that we can head out of this area. And she informed me that the area we're going to is where they're
That was the king.
giving blood. Thank you. Look at this.
This is weird.
Tons of people willing to give their blood to this cause.
So, I don't know if we explained this in the video very well, but everybody's lining up and giving blood. And it's not blood for like medical purposes. It's blood so they can pour it on the prime minister's house. Like they get it in this big bucket. And then there's like a religious guy like rolling around in all the blood. And it's on TV. I think we show it later in the video.
Like people rolling around in blood.
That seems dangerous,
It
right?
grosses me out, and I remembered seeing, like in more recent times, I remembered seeing row protests and people like putting blood stamps, like handprints on their bodies that were in red ink.
Was it actually blood?
I don't think it was really blood.
Well, that's different.
But still, that imagery brought me back to this, which made me feel kind of uncomfortable about people with other people's blood, and I'm a little...
Let's just put it this way. Thai people go hard when it comes to protests.
Yeah.
So this is the line. People are giving blood.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
The purpose of this is to dump it into the streets in protest.
You know, at this time, you didn't tell me that you were freaked out by needles.
Oh, God.
At this time,
Yeah.
I have no idea about that. I didn't find that out until the COVID situation.
I don't know how I'm coping with it here.
So, you think they're giving their blood for, you know, good purposes? I mean, this was arguably a good purpose, but I mean, like, healthy good purposes.
Technique seemed good.
She's probably done it 1,000 times.
This really has a festive atmosphere. Like, everybody is happy. Big smiles on everybody's faces. They're proud of what they're doing. It doesn't seem to be an angry protest, but they're definitely trying to make a point. And they're getting their point across. But
If I cared about a cause and they told me that this is what they were going to do, I'd give blood. Nope. I'm gonna make.
I mean,
I'm gonna make more.
Think about the. We're giving our blood for this.
Yes.
It's such a.
The impact of that being what is like thrust upon your doorstep is really like there's so much to that.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we get a lot of smiles, and people just don't seem that aggravated. They're just doing it because they need to.
Yeah. Look, this is what they're doing with it. This is on the news. I'm filming a TV here. And it's like, I think the Prime Minister's house.
This is some footage that we got off the television the night after the protesters had given all their blood. This is kind of the result of what they'd done with it. They're just pouring it like on the gates of the prime minister's house, and just pouring it in the streets. And it's all very, very morbid to a Westerner's mind, but it really proves quite a point. This is kind of a guess. This is what I assume to be a religious leader of some sort that is affiliated with the red shirts, and he is rolling around and putting his handprints in the blood and then putting it on like this wall or this post or whatever. And that's pretty damn gross.
Yeah, this shit's bizarre.
Yeah. It's one of the weirdest things I've seen in anything we've done. It's pretty out there, man.
This is a meat on the stick vendor. These people are all over the place. This is Katie over here. She's cooking herself up a piece of chicken. Is it rubbery and weird, or is it actually good this time?
Rubbery and weird.
That's not good. So this is like the smallest 7-Eleven in the world. I think we may have mentioned.
I've seen smaller.
Yeah.
Bitch, you don't even know.
We haven't been to Japan yet when we're talking here.
But like, it's like maybe 10 foot across and maybe 20 foot long. And the thing that's incredible is that at all this, like sometimes there's like 1 billion people crammed in here and there's this big line hanging out the back. And then on top of that, there's 5 employees working in here right now.
It's kind of funny.
7-Eleven in the world.
So this is in between Siam Paragon. It's a big, like, kind of ritzy mall. And then this is Siam Square, I think, on the other side. And it's
I think that one has the bad squid 50s diner.
Yeah, I think you may be right.
Yeah, I don't like that place.
More teenagers and stuff hanging out here. Oh, it's Siam Center. I'm sorry. And like teenagers kind of hang out here quite a bit more. And it's not. The stores are geared towards teenager clothing and fashion and whatnot. And they've got these big screens up here. And there's like advertisements, and sometimes there's like a big stage. Frequently there's a big stage set up here, and there'll be like bands playing or shows of some sort that they have with live people. And up here is a major SkyTrain station. It's where the two SkyTrain lines intersect here, so it gets a tremendous amount of traffic. And when you get off the train and you're waiting for it, you can be standing like up here or up on this level depending on where you're going, and you can watch what's going on over here. So this like area right here is really a very central part of this area of the city, and it's kind of like the hipster central, the fashion central, like the trendy central of Bangkok. It's just the amount of shopping and everything that's going on here, but it's a cool place to come wander around in there.
What made you laugh about you?
Just
you took a break?
What the fuck? What the fuck am I babbling about? I didn't think about it all. I guess I'm not to say that I'm good at this now, but I'm a lot better now than I was then.
But I loved that because it's just like you're just talking about like
what
you're
I'm just saying the things I'm seeing. That's all I'm doing. Like that's a this and that's a this and that's a this.
But I'm not
then
there, so I don't know. You have to tell me those things.
I don't know. I just feel like now I can just flow with it so much better. Like I can think ahead of what I'm going to say when I'm doing this. It's just like really funny when watching myself suck at it.
Air conditioning and the movie theater in Siam Paragon is epic. This area with all the malls is apparently where the protesters have moved to recently, or as of the beginning of April. Definitely wasn't there when we were there, but word of mouth has told us that the SkyTrain has been shut down and all these malls, which is like this massive section of the town, have just all been closed. The only thing that was weird when we were there is one of the malls had set up barricades, like a security center around the outside perimeter where it had never had it previously, like they were getting ready for the protesters to move into the area. The thought of all that area being closed down and the SkyTrain not functioning, it's a little hard to wrap my mind around, to be completely honest.
Yeah, so
Ooh, I have a story actually.
what's going to happen here?
Sauciness?
Oh, wait, I think maybe we thought this guy was a sex tourist.
We thought a lot of people were sex tourists.
We're in Thailand. There probably were a lot of sex tourists.
So this is like an offshoot of the protests. But one of the things that I used to read for at work was...
Oh, we're just listening.
Oh, okay. So very attentive. Was like... I used to do a monthly magazine for a very large company here in Japan called Itochu. And Itochu is like a trading company. And every year at the beginning of their financial year, which would be around like March, April time, they would have a shift in upper management. And they would want to introduce you to the new executives. So one of the questions that they would ask in this article that they put out every year, they ask the executives, what's a story that you have of when things went wrong, or et cetera, et cetera. And one of the executives wrote about how he was here during the same time.
For real?
And that everybody had exited the city. They had all basically escaped the city because of the protests. And he goes back to the hotel that was like the normal hotel that they were supposed to stay at and is just like, where is everyone? And can't find them. And he ends up having to like communicate with them because they think the
country's falling apart.
The country is falling apart, and they've all made a massive exodus. And then he realized like he needed to get with everybody and get into the get a cab to get over to where they were. And he was really embarrassed that he didn't know what everyone was doing based on this big protest that was happening. So
yeah, things got really real.
Yeah, and I think it was during this time when they're shutting down transport. Like he couldn't just get on a train to go meet people. He had to get his own personal transport.
So to be clear, once we were there at the very beginning of it, and then we left Thailand, and we didn't go back to Thailand. So things got real like after we left. When we were there, it was kind of like weird and jovial and like whatever. But then like. I kept reading up on all this as time passed, and I just remember, I don't remember the entire situation. I can't speak about it right now, but if you look it up, like it went off the rails, like the 2010 protest in Bangkok. Yeah, I was stuffing my finger in there, in that, like when he looks down, like when you, I don't know, it was a weird thing. Anyways, look, I'm just gonna finger bang the chicken a bit here. And we'll get back into the game. Let's see what's going on with the sex tourist.
So this is a really good sign of sex tourism. We got a white Western guy and a Thai girl, and they're holding hands, which is just not something Thai people do that often, is hold hands cross-gender like that. And her clothes are absolutely not something a Thai girl would wear unless she was making money. So there's a lot of that going on in the Sukhumvit area of Bangkok.
Probably wouldn't make that video again now. Feel a little weird about that one.
No, I
think I might have talked about it, but I don't know if I would have shown somebody like that. I don't know. I feel
the fact that
I didn't show their faces or anything.
He did turn around a little bit, but being able to make that out and having somebody police down to that guy and find out who he was, I think it was interesting. Because if you had just said they were scantily clad, that just lets somebody else think whatever they're thinking, which may not be the right picture. Like, that girl looked like she was ready to party. She's a little scantily clad, but she's not too much, or... Yeah, I don't know.
You see it a lot there, though. Let's just put it that way. All right, one more video.
You know you're in Bangkok when you are having breakfast over an open sewer.
Don't drop your stuff.
You see how here, squeaky chicken.
Kind of down on the other side of the city. We're on Sukhumvit right now, and there's these protesters coming down, and they're just riding around, kind of hooting at people, not in a bad way or anything, just making their presence known. But this is the first time I've seen any of the red shirts outside of the downtown area, or the downtown area, the government area of northeastern Bangkok or northwestern Bangkok. So we went into the American Embassy like, I don't know, 30 or 40 minutes ago, and none of this was here. And we walked outside and all the red shirts have shown up. So I don't know why they're protesting in front of this embassy, but maybe it's more than just this embassy. This is like where all the embassies are. I think they're just trying to stop, like screw up traffic and stuff here. I think that's all it is.
We chatted with that guy for a while.
Yeah, okay, so
Don't remember much about it.
We were in the embassy. I don't know if we'll mention this. We were in the embassy because our passports were full. We needed to add more pages to our passport, so that's why we had to go to the American Embassy. That was one of the other reasons I think we went to Bangkok. I don't remember if that was a driving factor, but anyway, that was the thing. That's what we were doing. And when we were in there was another American dude in there that you could briefly see. We were talking to him, and he lived in Thailand, if I remember. I don't remember what he was doing at the embassy, but he was there. And like I said in the video, none of this was there when we went in, and when we came out, this street is like full of like thousands of people, and it's like a pretty big long street. And they are there, and I didn't know at the time, you can hear me talking, but they were there specifically to protest the American Embassy because the American ambassador had said something in the media that was supporting the people that they were opposed to. Mm-hmm. So there was some sort of comment made by a political figure in America, and so they have gone to the American Embassy to like be like, fuck you. And like, we are Americans walking out of the American Embassy into a bunch of people telling our government, fuck you.
Yeah, and I definitely thought at this point that if somebody wanted to make a stronger point, or if a rogue person decided they wanted to step over the line, we are objects, we are targets for stepping over the line.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what my emotion was. I also do remember, I think the Associated Press interviewed me. Do you remember this? Like when we walked out of the embassy, like the AP or something was there, and they interviewed me, and you told me to do it because I had been like reading up on all this stuff, and I actually understood what was going on.
You situation.
But why? You got to think about that. What the fuck is the Associated Press just interviewing some random tourist about a political thing in another country for? What kind of interview is that? I don't know if they ever aired it or anything. I don't remember, but I just remember. I remember that event.
What the fuck? Okay, so I was just literally interviewed by the Associated Press in front of the embassy about this. They just stopped with a big camera and questioned me and whatnot, just if I felt intimidated or anything about the fact that all this protesting was going on here. Look at, holy shitballs, look at this. That's the American Embassy. We were in the consulate system, services. But look at that. Holy shitballs.
Look at all the cops. Or the police or military or whatever.
This is a bit mad. Yeah, it seems like this is actually centered around the American Embassy. Like, it really seems like they're all... I don't understand what they're trying to do that would be directed towards Americans at this point. I don't know what that has anything to do with them not liking their prime minister.
Yeah, that's the dude.
Bathing suit says it's a laundry day.
Protesters.
Oh, you? Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so that street's really, really long. That is, I think, the road that the embassy was down.
Just talked to a Thai fellow in a red shirt, and he said the reason that they're protesting the U.S. embassy is because the ambassador publicly supports the current government, which is what they want to not necessarily overthrow, but they want to have elections place. because they feel as if the current administration is in undemocratically. So that's the reason that they're protesting the U.S. Embassy, but it probably has a little more to do with the fact that they can get some media exposure worldwide by doing such a thing. So they're having some sort of like
Check on the toilet.
rally, like hippie type thing, and these kids are holding signs that say free hugs.
Looks like paint.
And I bet I can convince Katie to go down there and snatch her up a free hug. And then they're drawing on this long like thing of paper, and this wall over here they're drawing on, and it just looks like they're Asian hippies. And then these kids over here are doing that.
Yep.
The symbol is kind of like indicative that this is a protest, is an anti-protest of the red shirts. So that half that heart was yellow and half of it is red. Yellow is kind of the opposite of red shirt, yellow shirt person. So I guess that's what they're doing. I don't know. I hate hippies. For our third stay in Bangkok, this is our bedroom.
I'm pretty sure I got a hug, by the way.
Yeah, I think you did get a
I
hug.
do remember a hug.
Yeah.
Entire hotel room, which is essentially one small room.
I remember liking this room.
It has some nice amenities like air conditioning and a door with a lock and a table and some chairs. I mean, we got some furniture up in here. And this little guy down here, he's one of my buddies. I like him because I can put the laptop on there and watch movies while I'm in the bed. It's very, very relaxing. And we've got this big blingin' TV that gets 5 stations. Everything in English, aside from the crazy Korean channel, which is also in English, is really, really awful. And then we have the bathroom, which is your standard little hole in the wall. We got the throne and the best shower I've had in 6 months. This thing is incredible. It'll blast you through the wall, and it's really hot. It's great. And then the sink, and then that's Katie. That's what it's like to be in the bathroom with me.
That was quality.
It's a pretty epic looking terminal for the airport.
Okay.
I like stop at duty free shop. I like stop at duty free shop.
Pause.
Hold on, let's just finish the video. I think it's over.
Ah, there's the hug. That's some me shit. That's all that girl. So today we're in class and we were talking about Kenchiku, which is architecture, and Kenchiku-ka was one of the words,
Like
which
architect.
is architect. And fucking Brandon looks at me and he goes, "You know Art Vandelay?" And I kind of just was like, "You got to stop talking. You're not allowed to talk anymore." Like all of this was in Japanese, so it was fine. But yeah, he sent me a meme about Art Vandelay too online.
When we
Right in.
when we left Thailand with the apartment we rented, it wasn't like rented is a weird word to use. It was like a long stay. We were able to stay there for a month. And we could have just continued to re-up it or whatever we wanted to, but like they knew we were going to be leaving at the end of the month, so it wasn't hard to leave. It was just, that was how the arrangement was. You pay a premium to have that kind of thing, but it's still not that expensive because it's Thailand. Yeah, no, it wasn't like a lease or something like that. Okay, let's take a look at some of these pictures, of which we have some. So what is the process? You do this. All right. This would have been still in Cambodia. Did I flip the thing? Okay, good, I did. But now I broke that.
Oh, you broke it.
And now this won't go away. Who knows? Anyway, I just thought it was like kind of a weird, like, no guns, no kittens or puppies. It's a weird combination.
Yeah. All lethal.
And this was the turtle stew at the truck stop.
No heads.
Yeah, what happened to the heads? Maybe they're in the shells. That's their thing.
What part do you eat?
Yeah, what is edible there is a question. Yeah. Like, I can look at that, I can figure out what's edible. Like, the bit on the front, not edible, but some of that
Somebody
stuff in the
who's
back.
never eaten it, I'd like them to, like, look at it, like, what part do you eat? And they'd be like, I don't know, man. Like, the ears.
You eat the bacon, man. That's not hard. You gotta
Who can you ask
locate the
this
bacon.
question to?
An alien.
Who do we know? We need to find someone to just show them a picture of a pig and be like, what do you eat? And they'd be
A
like,
baby.
I don't know. Then show them the turtle and they'd be like, well, obviously. The shell. I find it interesting that we didn't show like any of the it wasn't a really like hardcore four-wheeler adventure, but it was hard to videotape certain things.
Yeah.
We didn't have any stands. It was all handheld.
And it's not like it's a GoPro. I knew it would be shaky as shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even just the one shot that I got was shaky.
Yeah. But this is on that tour, that little tour. They took of course it breaks. This is not designed to do what I want it to do. Okay. This was on that motorbike tour. He stopped and took a picture of us for us. I barely remember this experience at all. Like, it almost didn't even happen. If we didn't have pictures of this, I would never remember it.
Yeah, I guess I had kind of forgotten about the four-wheeler, but if you'd asked me had I gone on a four-wheeler adventure at some point, the tint of just red dust would have gone over my eyes and I would have been like, yeah, pretty sure.
You don't look big enough for this device.
But they let me use it.
Yeah. It was pretty fun. Can you do this in Japan? It'd be fun. It'd be lame in Japan. They'd make it
We
really...
did it in Japan.
Huh?
There was that obstacle course. The buggies.
Oh, I mean, like... Yeah, you're right.
But that's what they would have done
that
in
was
Japan.
kinda lame.
They
Yeah,
would have
that's the
created
Japan
you,
version of it.
like, yeah. What?
There's some ducks.
That's what the bugs grow into.
I don't know why I put this picture in here. Is this a flower on your head? I'm sure that somebody put it there. Probably me.
You, yeah.
That's like kind of shit I do. So we didn't show this at all in the video. I was surprised by
miniatures.
that. We only
That was
showed the
fun.
alligators. Somebody had built a bunch of the Angkor Wat temples, and they made a little tourist trap, and that's what we were at. So like you could go and see these things. It's actually kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
To see that before you go, because then when you go, you're like, okay, I'm kind of inside of this thing. I understand what that structure looks like. So we did this the day before, and I mean it's like $1 or something to get into.
It was badass. I had a lot of fun,
Yeah.
like just looking at the smaller thing. Miniatures are fun.
Yeah, I almost think it would be fun to see it, then go see the real thing, and then see this again.
Yeah.
And then that's where the lady took us in the back. I think it was a lady took us in the back and was like, "Here you go. There's crocodiles."
That one looks real fresh. I guess he just came out of the water. And the other ones are in mud.
Strange, man. I don't know.
Chocorums?
I don't know why we took a picture.
Chocorums?
Took a picture of this, but we wouldn't
That's
even blink at
Meiji.
this now. But yeah.
A splendid chocolatey combination of crispy cracker and crispy cracker. That was impactful when we went by it.
Look at the bike.
Piece of garbage. Shambles.
It's cool though.
Yeah.
So that would have been the sunset the night before we did the official going around area or whatever. I remember this dog, but I don't remember why. Something about this dog. Like it was doing something weird or something, going out and barking at people or something. I don't remember. I remember it being... It was a substantial dog at the moment.
It doesn't seem to have been in the bloodline of the Chiang Mai wiener dog, so I don't
No.
know
Look
shit about this
Look
dog.
at this. This dog is kind of long.
No, it's not.
Look,
it's
yeah, it
pure
is.
Chihuahua.
It's sort of skinny and long. I think there might be 1/4 wiener dog in that dog.
No, that's boredom. There's between belly and ground. There's too much distance.
That's why 1/4.
too much distance.
He's just tall.
It's like an arch in that back. I want the belly scraping the ground, showing its dominance as a dachshund.
This would have been the next morning. It's cool. You can see the moon. I used that picture in the video. Came out pretty cool. Mm-hmm. How red the sun is coming up.
Just checking out some babes.
Just checking out some babes.
You talked to me about their knockers for a while, and you
Did I?
probably met. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Like, we even have code now for boobs. Like, no doubt about it.
The shape of these girls is pretty, like, modernly, like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you look at, like, what's considered, like, attractive or sexy from olden days or whatever. Like, think about, like, the 1600s, like in Europe or whatever, and the kind of clothes and frumpiness or whatever. Like, this is pretty, like, almost like they're wearing bikinis, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, you tuned out.
Danny wants to know. I know I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I understand the bikini and the current luscious shape of the women.
You know what I mean? It just seems modern, I guess, is what it is.
It's definitely not boobs. If the code is, that looks like a girl you've been to the onsen with.
Because you came out of the onsen one day and you were like, this girl in there was stacked.
Well, it was, you and I in previous conversations had talked about how you had seen some girls that you were just like, man, like, not all Japanese girls are like small chested, and they're small girls, so you do run across a lot of women who aren't stacked. And then you run across people who have had pregnancies and things like that. So then that doesn't really count. Like, I don't know how to explain that. I'm not going to go down that road too far. But I went to an onsen and I just saw, like, super busty girl. Like, I was stuck on this girl for a while, and it was like, if she'd had a boob job, you'd go like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then at the same time, that's not really in the culture here. So I was like, wow, those are impressive. And I think that's what I stared at for, like, stare is a wrong word. I got glimpses and was like, this is a lucky shot. But I came home and I told you about it, and then he's into it. And then, now when you see busty girls, you say, that looks like someone you went to the onsen with, so that you can let me know in English that girl's stacked. And then I'll look over and
I just think about this story of you coming back telling me about the big breasted girl, man. Should have asked her for a hug.
I would have applauded if, like, applauding was okay.
And should have asked her for a hug and tested the pillowness.
She wasn't holding a sign that said free hugs in the onsen.
If you went into an onsen and somebody had a free hug sign,
is she stacked? Yeah. Naked hugging. Gosh, I would really be taking my life to a next level. I think I really would be judgmental about who would get hugged or not. There's a few people at the onsen and be like,
I'm sure you could be scrubbing some old lady's back in no time flat if you just wanted to go into the local Sento.
Yeah. But an embrace? I don't know.
There's my shitty bike.
Yeah. It looks
About how I felt.
great. That's a nice face.
Yeah, it is.
Very pleased.
Mm.
Is it winking?
I don't think so.
Oh, no. Okay, both eyes are open. The eyelid on the right side is more faded than the one on the left side, so it looks a bit like a wink.
It's sort of amazing how old these things are.
Part of me was thinking when I was looking at those voluptuous ladies that they seem too modern.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah, I know. But that somebody just went in there and chiseled those, like,
Last
in the late
weekend,
90s. And was just like, yeah, no one will know.
Maybe they did.
And then everybody was like, these look really great, so we'll just create a lure about these.
This is kind of the situation where I would assume that elephant stuff is probably pretty sketch.
Yeah. But this is where my mom would ride an elephant.
It's true. It's kind of cool, though, the background. That moat.
The moat was
The
a
moat looks pretty
standout.
cool.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Somebody else took that picture.
Or you set it on something and set the timer.
I feel like I handed it off to someone, like in that specific moment. Maybe it was them.
Maybe it was. Cool stuff.
That's a really great. I like that it's them and not us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the whole shot.
Is this a white lady here?
No.
Okay. I think the hat just made me think so. That looks like a white lady hat.
Nej, that's it.
Man, I'm looking kind of creepy there.
Why?
I don't know, just the look on my face. See what I mean? Creeping out.
Mm-hmm.
Snooping around on you. You're wearing 2 bags. I guess you're wearing mine? Why did-
Maybe. Yeah,
Well,
I
hold
don't
on,
know
hold
why
on,
I
hold on.
have two.
Yeah, I'm wearing a black bag there. So
It's probably because we're on bikes.
this is one of my favorite pictures we took on the whole trip.
I couldn't get up there.
Yeah, I was tall enough that I could somehow scramble up there. But it's just crazy how I'm a big person, and it's crazy how small I look.
Yes.
It's really
It's
cool.
amazing how small you look.
I really like that picture. You playing tug of war, I think.
I'm gonna win.
I like this lady's clothes over on the right-hand side.
I also remember that we walked through this whole place and there was like no one for a really long time. And then we came out, like we were looking for like this tree area, and we came out through this opening and we walked forward, not looking behind us, going, what the fuck are people talking about? There aren't any trees here at all. And then we turned around and we saw that and we were like, oh, oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, Mac OS. How I hate and loathe thee.
Disappointment. That's what it looks like. Oh, not creepy at all.
Yeah.
You going in
it's
there?
Scary. Am I gonna get a hug?
Should always bring a headlamp.
Did I pee on myself? I'm all wet.
Bicycle seat?
Maybe just a water jug. Yeah, the water jug. This is just how dirty you get there. Like, it's just this dirt. It's just dirt everywhere. Some of that's like my feet are tanned, obviously, from the sandals, but a lot of that is just dirt. I remember taking showers at the end of the night, and like it's just like the shower is like full of dirt. We bought a Dr. Pepper, which is interesting. We might have just bought
Interesting
that.
that now I don't really care about it.
I don't
but
care about it
I
either.
do know that emotion right there because like I had Dr. Pepper all the time when I was little.
Yeah, I think that would have been the first time we'd seen a Dr. Pepper on a trip. Yeah, see, this says...
Oh, $20, yeah.
Where does it say $20?
USD.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It's right in the middle. Yep. And if I recall, you just paid in American dollars or something. I think we had to pull it out of the ATM or something like that.
Don't remember. It's got your picture on it.
I know. They do that so you can't, like, hand it off to somebody else.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's like a high-tech... It's like more high-tech than, like, the visa issuing process when you come into the country.
Your nationality is P1700.
Yeah, I noticed that when I
That's weird.
looked at this picture. And this would have been... I guess we were mailing postcards to, like, friends and stuff. Because this picture had been taken. We sent postcards in every country, didn't we? I think we did.
So, yeah.
Like, just like one time. And going across the border.
Drugs cause serious effects to humans as well as destroy our life, society, and nation. Any person who produces, imports, exports, sells, or holds for sale those drugs shall be punished with life sentence or execution. Fuck.
Serious, man.
Steering clear of that.
Yeah. And now we're into Bangkok and just gonna be pictures of like the protests and stuff. That kakigori looks pretty good.
I was enthused.
Look at mine. It's got like
point.
blue on it, blue, pink, purple. Look at that. Come on, man. This looks delicious. Free and fair Thailand. Give Thailand back to the people.
How am I supposed to feel about the king? I really like the king, but I don't know the situation of the king. Am I supposed to like the king?
I mean, you're kind of supposed to have to like him if you live there.
Well,
like legally.
I'm talking about him as a person and as a historical figure at this point.
I'm sure the answer is it's complicated.
Still like him. Like, of all the leaders, that's my boy.
Was this would have been walking out of the American embassy?
Mm-hmm. A world leaders tier list.
Jeez.
I've got some thoughts and none of them are educated. Some of them are educated at this point, but it's still funny to think. I'd probably just talk out of my ass. I love this photo.
Picture's really cool.
Absolutely love it.
This dude knows it's being taken too. Look at this.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm. MBK, that means a different thing now.
What does it mean?
MKBHD.
Those are in a different order.
Oh, shit. I spell. The panda you birthed.
I can't believe you ate it after I birthed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. That's why there are no pandas.
All right. We don't get enough credit for the photography. I don't know if we're good photographers. But I'll take credit
That
if you want to
candy
give
is
it.
covered in saliva. That's a lollipop.
Come over here and you got to do the thumbnail thing because I got to pick a picture for the thumbnail. I don't know what emotion we should have. Maybe like just like looking at the screen or something.
I seriously think that should be the thumbnail.
Well, no, it could be, but then there'll be a picture of us
Watching that?
like in the bottom left corner. You don't know what these thumbnails look like, do you? No. Just don't look at the camera. And I can take a frame and make that. Anyway, it just saves me a little bit of trouble. These were quite a few episodes tonight. Yeah. So I think it's time to scoot.
Indeed, it is time to scoot.
And
I have an appointment.
You have an appointment?
Yep.
With who?
My mom.
What time?
4 minutes ago.